Thank you. It's a real privilege to be here tonight. Thank you for having me. And we're going to talk about digital marketing. I've had about 25 years worth of marketing experience, but the last 10 years specifically focused on the whole digital side. It's changing all the time, it gets really complicated, and so what I want to give to you today is essentially a framework for how you can look at your business and apply some ideas on how to start your digital marketing process. But first, what I'd like to do is tell you a story about one of my sons. And I think this story illustrates digital marketing really well. So I've got 4 kids. My third child, a little fella called Levi. And about 2 or 3 years ago, he got completely hooked on fishing. Now, I don't know if you've got any kids, but often kids get hooked on things, right? And if it's not fishing, it's Transformers or it's Fortnite or something. They get really obsessed with things. And I'm thinking fishing's actually, as far as things get hooked on, is a pretty good thing to get hooked on. So we were on holidays up the coast here at Shoal Bay, which is just north of Newcastle. And Levi's hitting me up for some fishing gear. So we went down to Kmart and we went all out, right? $15 rods, we bought the best of the best and we went out fishing. So fishing, when you're a father of 4, means what you do is you get everyone out there and it's a lovely morning and you get the rod and you set it up and you put some line through and you put a hook on the end and a sinker and a float and you get some bait and you put the bait on and you hand it to child number 1. So about 5 minutes has gone by. And then you do the same for child number 2. We're at 10 minutes. Do the same for child number 3 and 4. 20 minutes has gone by and now you pick up your own rod. And you go, right, great, I'm going to do some fishing. As soon as you start setting that up, child number 1 comes back and says, Dad, I've got a snag, or something's gone wrong. So you've got to pull that one out, you've got to set it all up again. So there's another 5 minutes. And as soon as you've finished that one, child number 2 comes back and the whole rod's exploded and there's line everywhere, it's a complete big bird's nest and you've got to chop it all off, you've got to start again. So this just seems to repeat and repeat and repeat. So fishing, for me, looks a little bit like this. Now I think it's all summed up by the fact that my back is facing the water. In the middle there, my youngest child's having a great time. She's more interested in posing for the camera than she's actually interested in fishing. And my daughter on the right-hand side is holding a rod. She's never held a rod since. That's the one and only time in her entire life that she'll ever do fishing. And this is my elder son who's actually taking the photo. He's the selfie king. And you can see the little fellow with the stripy shorts. He's not interested in the camera at all. He's on the job. He's fishing. So we do this process. We fish in the morning, we fish at lunch, we fish in the afternoon, we fish in the evening, day after day after day. And it turns out Levi's got a big problem. His dad's completely rubbish at fishing. So we're not catching anything. We're going days and days with no fish until finally, after about day 8, Levi catches his very first fish. Now, I forgive you if up the back you're having a bit of trouble seeing that fish. I posted this photo on social media and some of my friends were rude enough to say that it looked more like bait than like fish. But effectively what's happened, you can maybe see that bright green lure. He's put a lure on for some reason. Effectively what's happened is that through sheer number of hours of having a hook in the water, he's brought it in and the lure has caught this little fish on the gill by accident and hooked him and brought him up. That's the only way we could catch a fish. And he laughs at this now, but at the time, he was very, very proud of this little fish. So what I'm trying to do as a dad, who knows nothing about fishing, is I'm trying to play with all the variables. There's different lines and there's different hooks and there's different sinkers and floats and different rods and then there's targeting different species. And for a different species, you've got to change all of the above. Change the line and the setup and the hook and the bait. And then there's the time of day and there's the season and there's the weather and there's all these factors. And then we're fishing off this pier and kids come and start jumping off the pier and scare away all the fish. So we're trying to adjust things to catch fish. But I didn't know what I was adjusting, so we weren't catching any fish. And digital marketing is really similar, right? We've got all of these variables. We've got Google, we've got analytics, we've got Search Console, we've got Bing, we've got Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, we've got video, we've got email marketing, and it goes on and on and on. And what you're trying to do, you're not trying to catch fish, you're trying to catch leads. And you're adjusting the variables, and let's try this, and then no, let's try that. And then we haven't even started talking about the message you're using when you're communicating with these different technologies. We're not talking about the economic environment, the political environment, your competitors, the time of year. There's all these factors going on, and we're trying to adjust them to try and get some leads so we can grow our business. What I did with Levi is I got a friend who's about 40 years old, and he's been fishing his whole life. In fact, he was fishing in his mother's womb. He's been fishing about 41 years. And he took us fishing out at the Hawkesbury River, and he's catching fish, and we're not catching any fish. It's the same story. And he takes one look at our gear and he says, "You've got the wrong sized hooks. If you go and buy this size hook from BCF, you'll start catching fish." So that's what we did. And Levi caught himself a proper fish this time. Now, obviously I'm not here to talk about fishing, we're here to talk about digital marketing. So the difference is, if we can catch some leads, we can grow our business. So can I get a show of hands of anybody who's done some digital marketing? Now, just leave your hands up. If you've got a website or a Facebook page, can you lift your hands as well? So I think that's like 95%. Just about everybody's done some digital marketing. So we've been at this long enough, the internet's been around long enough that you've done some stuff, and I'm going to hazard a guess that lots of things haven't worked. So what I want to do is talk to you about some ways to actually make it work. And we're going to start with making it work version 1. I want to talk about the simplest way to get it to work first, then I want to talk about a more complex way second. The simplest way is a bit like this. You put an ad up, suppose it's a Google ad, somebody sees that ad, your phone number's on it, they give you a call, you make a sale. Beautiful. That's the way we want it to work all the time, right? So it looks a bit like this. This is one of our clients. You type in turf supplies, you need to replace your lawn. There's the ad, it's a nice ad, it's got a phone number there, it's got an address, some frequently asked questions, some turf options. You can go through the landing page and learn a bit more, and you go and buy some turf. Now, that's great for some businesses, and we have dozens of businesses that are doing this, making a great return on investment, and it works. That's because they mostly sit in this quadrant here. And this is where you're dealing with high value products that are low in complexity. Now, to buy a new lawn is going to cost $1,000, $2,000, somewhere in that, depends how big your yard is. But we all understand turf. We've walked on it, we've probably mowed it, we might have whippersnipped it. We can probably roll it. We're going to need a bit of help in measuring up and making sure we get the right amount of turf, and maybe we need a bit of advice on the right type of turf. But basically we understand turf. So we're quite confident going and buying it. Same with kitchens, right? Kitchens are significantly more expensive. You can probably get a kitchen at Bunnings for $5 grand, or you can get a custom made one for $100 grand. But let's suppose your kitchen costs 30 grand. It's a big investment, it's a lot of money, but you understand kitchens, right? You know how drawers work, you know they need to have a space for the fridge, you know that there's a dishwasher spot, and so you kind of get it. So you're quite confident to search in Google, go to a landing page, see some nice pictures, see some some social proof from people that have enjoyed working with them, give them a call and get a quote. This is our clients there at Greener Lawn, Anthony and Margaret, fantastic people. We've been working with them for many years, and just put the ads on, get the leads in. Pretty simple. But what I want to do is move on to making it work version 2, because if your business doesn't fit in that quadrant, now what do we do? And specifically, I think I want to talk about this quadrant up here, where we're talking about higher value, higher complexity products. And what we often want to do is, we're a financial planner, and financial planning has lots and lots of variables in it as well. There's insurance, and there's superannuation, and there's self-managed super funds, and investing in shares and investing in property, and all these different components. So it's quite complex. It's also going to cost $5 grand or so to get the consultation per year, and they're taking your future in their hands. So it's a big deal, right? It's a really complex thing, and it's worth a lot of money. A real estate agent even more so. The biggest sale or purchase of your life. And we want to do the same thing as a lawn. Come and contact us. but they don't know you, they don't understand you, they certainly don't trust you yet. You're just marketing and they're not ready to buy. Now, we like to describe this as proposing marriage on the first date. If you go on a first date and you ask someone to marry them, what's the answer? No. You're a bit weird, go away, and we're not having a second date. We want to do this with our marketing. Come and buy from us, let's go. And people are not ready. So we need to start to think about our customers in 3 different ways. We need to think about cold customers. A cold customer has never heard of you, doesn't know anything about you, is not exposed to you, and is not ready to buy. Then there's warm customers. These are people that have heard of you, but are not ready to buy yet, but they're interested. They're starting to warm up. And hot customers, fantastic, ready to buy. Ask them to come in for a free consultation or whatever it is that you offer and let's get moving. The problem is we want to talk to our cold customers as if they're hot. And then we wonder why our marketing doesn't work. So let's break this down a little bit further. The goal with cold customers is to start communicating around branding and awareness. All you're trying to say is, hi, we can help you. We're good people. We're professional. Whatever it is that your brand image wants to be, you want to start communicating that. Now, the cheapest way to get in front of a lot of eyeballs at the moment, 2018, is video. It's pretty simple. The entire internet is heading towards video. By 2020, 80% of the entire internet will be video. So there's a land grab. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, all the social media want to get video. So they bias their algorithms to show you videos cheaply, and so you can get a lot of eyeballs on your content for not very much money. We will often see something like $200 will get you in front of about 10,000 people. And because of the targeting that YouTube and social media such as Facebook do, you can show that to the right 10,000 people, your exact target market. Now what's going to come out of that is some people will watch the video, perhaps engage with it, perhaps do some more research, come to your website, and we can start to identify them as being warm. They've engaged with us a bit. Let's get involved with an engagement and education process. Let's ask them to read a blog. Let's ask them to download a lead magnet. Maybe they can engage with a chatbot. And we start to do these things through social media, through display, and through SEO. Now, once they're involved with your website, maybe they're on your email list or something, they start getting educated and start getting informed about what you do, they start warming up, and then we can do the bit that we all want to do, right? Come and contact me. We often will use Google AdWords or remarketing, we can use SEO, and we can use social media to do that. Really what we're talking about here is a multi-touch strategy. We want to touch people multiple times in multiple different ways and in multiple different places. So what we've got here is an example of a blog where there's a lovely image, there's some text on it, there's a video, there's a link to other blog articles, and we can take that and we can put it all over social media. I've listed them all here: Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, email, Google Display Network, YouTube, SEO. We can start to get these showing all over the place, and we can start to get people to warm up to us quite effectively through one piece of content that can go out. We maybe do one a week, one a fortnight, one a month. What I'm talking about is really a paradigm shift from thinking about people as dollars, come and give me your money, come and let me sell you something, to thinking about people relationally. How can I help you? And in that process, you might help some people that don't purchase from you, but that's okay. You're going to help a lot of people that will come and purchase from you. So you're thinking relationally and not thinking transactionally. I've just put this slide here because these are some clients of ours that fit in that top right-hand corner. They sell a complex, high-value product, and they do all the things I just mentioned: YouTube, Google Display Network, they use Facebook, Instagram, SEO, Google AdWords. They've got the whole thing running and have been working with us for a number of years. Now, our philosophy is really around how can we help people? What's the old school way of helping people? The old school way of marketing, but using the very latest technology to do that the best way.